Hello again, class. Just uploading a video for week 2. Please note, though, that next week is spring break, so you don't need to be doing anything during that week. But if you like, you can get a head start. So spring break is from the week of the 23rd to the 29th. Back up on the 30th, we'll actually start our workshop 2, or week 2. But this video is for that time. So, as we work through our 5 weeks, each week will cover a different genre. So the first week covered the genre of historical narrative. So that was your focus with your assignments and with your reading. For week 2, your focus is on the genre of poetry. We're pretty familiar with poetry in general. As humans, we tend to create poetry and enjoy it. But Hebrew poetry is a bit different than what you may be familiar with. I hope to actually upload a lecture on that to explore some of those concepts. But for now, I just want to work through what we're expecting from you for the week. So first off, let's talk about the 2 discussion questions. The first one's how many books? The question is how many books? And this is more of a background question. I'm going to read the question and then discuss it briefly. The common Protestant view of the Bible is that it is a collection of 66 books. The Catholic Bible contains 73 books. The Ethiopian Orthodox canon holds a record with 81 books and maybe even more. If you talk to an Ethiopian, oftentimes they don't know or don't care what books are in the Bible. It's quite fascinating, a lot different than most Western Christians. Further, how does the knowledge that there are different compilations of the Bible affect your view of the book and its religious authority? So you may not, or you may believe that the Bible is authoritative, but how does the idea that different people have different books in their Bible, how does that idea impact what you think about the authority of the Bible? So reflect on that a little bit. Does it change its authority? Does it make it more or less authoritative? Does it matter at all? So go ahead and reflect on that and respond to your peers' thoughts. Discussion question number 2, titled Differing Perspectives. And here's the question. What do the different perspectives of what will happen to people if they are good, presented in Proverbs and Job, tell you about the cultural view of wisdom in the ancient Near East? So very simplistically, Proverbs says that if you're good, good things will happen to you. However, in the book of Job, it turns out that even bad things can happen to good people. So how does this idea that bad things can happen to good people versus good things always happen to good people, how does that idea sit with you? Which side do you fall on? What does your experience tell you? Can bad things happen to good people? And what does this information tell us about the ancient Near East? They were debating this issue as well, just as we do today. So reflect on these differing perspectives, read the assigned portions of each of these books, as well as Carver's discussion of them, and then go ahead and post your thoughts to the forum. Let's talk a bit about the interpretive essay on a psalm. So you're going to pick 2 of the psalms from the week's reading, and then you're going to write a 3 to 5 page essay on those psalms. First, you're going to indicate the main type. Second, you're going to identify the main parts. Third, you're going to compare the main ideas of each psalm, as well as the images, parallelisms, and details used to support the main ideas. Fourth, you're going to summarize the point of your selected psalms by answering these questions. What does the author seem to be most interested in? And how is the author's original message reflected in the main themes of these psalms? Then you're going to describe personal interpretation of the meaning of both psalms. And finally, you're going to create your own psalm using one of the types and main ideas in your selected psalms. Right? So if one of your psalms was a wisdom psalm, then you're going to respond by creating your own. And this is part of the 3 to 5 page essay. Right? So include that at the bottom, using as many parallelisms and figures of speech as you can. Then you're going to make a timeline of the development of the Bible as your final assignment for the week. You're going to use Dippity for this, and I found Dippity a useful tool to get creative with timelines. The first thing that you might need to know is Dippity uses BCE and CE as time markers. So if you want to put a date for 1500 BC, before Christ, you have to actually type BCE, before Common Era. If you want to put a date that happened after 0, you need to use CE instead of AD. So this has to do with a change that was made some 50 years ago, but it's just slowly making it into common use. This before Christ and after death has been replaced by before Common Era and Common Era for a lot of reasons that we may get into at some point, but for now I'll just say that it's more accurate. So for Dippity, go ahead and use BCE and CE to tag your dates. Another note, I changed the assignment just a little bit. So it says, indicate the time periods in which each main section of the Bible was written. Include each of these main sections. So you need to include the Torah, prophets, writings, Apocrypha, Gospels, Pauline letters, general letters, and Revelation. So you need to include those main sections, but then pick 10 books, just 10 total books. The assignment actually says do all of the books, but I want you to only do 10. All right, you can do more if you want, but 10 is the minimum. All right. So put the dates for those 10 books, and then use videos and photographs and other creative elements to bring your timeline alive. And then, as usual, you have a quiz. So go ahead and finish that quiz. You have 15 minutes for all the quizzes. Quiz number 2 covers all the reading that is due in week 2. All right. So it will cover chapter 5 of the Carver text, and then all of the readings listed for the New Oxford Annotated Bible. So go ahead and make sure you do the reading before